Well, it's not the sexiest move of the offseason across baseball, but we're kind of excited about it, we think. The Rays have added to their bullpen.
Yes, they have. It's really exciting for Rays fans to have some news, some new player to dive into, and we will do just that starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other traditional podcasting platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, Ulises, according to multiple reports and sources, the Rays are finalizing or have finalized a deal with free agent reliever Phil Maton, according to Mark Feinsand, and then I believe followed up and confirmed by Mark Topkin. As of yet, we do not have the financial details. I believe it's for a one-year deal, ballparking it. I don't know, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, couple million with some incentives thrown in. So we'll have to wait and see on what that is. But when you first heard the news, the reports of this maneuver taking place, your initial thoughts were what?
My initial thought was like, oh, that guy that looks like Zach Greinke, right?
A little bit, yeah.
And then I had to look up the numbers, and I was not displeased by the numbers, honestly. You look at his career, and it has been kind of like a roller coaster, a kind of a journeyman reliever of sorts. At San Diego, Cleveland, Houston, now the Rays.
Yeah.
But it's been with Houston that he's kind of revived his career. He's sitting around 26% K rate, which is really nice. A whip around 1.1, 1.2, very nice. But the thing that caught my eye the most is durability. The last 3 years, dude has posted, and you may like, oh, what? He's pitched more than 40 innings. Now, how about more than 65 innings in back-to-back seasons? That is such a needed thing right now for that bullpen.
Oh, 100%. And that is something we have dealt with and experienced as Rays fans, is just the health and durability of not just the starting pitchers, but the relievers as well. And that was something that really caught my eye too, was the fact of you can more or less pencil them in for 65, 66 innings, at least over the last couple years. And I think for Phil Maton and his agent and his family, he was probably targeting the Rays as, hey, let me have another good season with another enviable organization in terms of their work with pitchers, and let me go on and get the big bucks elsewhere, perhaps do a Robert Stevenson maneuver.
Yeah.
Because Robert Stevenson, I think he might have been less of a known quantity than Phil Maton. I would say I knew more about Maton than Stevenson, and look where Stevenson's at. He's going to be making, 30 plus. I don't know what the exact deal is, but he's got a 3-year deal with the Angels with a lot of money attached to that. Just based on really a short track record with the Rays, he was able to go on and get something bigger and better.
3 months and a half with the Rays, and then boom, you get that kind of deal. Yeah, Phil Maton's going to be like thinking, maybe I could do the same and get myself something pretty like that. It's really amazing how the Rays have increased their cachet around the league with the pitching factor that they have, because you look at the past, it's always been the thing, since 2008, pitching and defense, but it's always kind of looked upon like, oh, quirky, they do it a different way. But I think now it has started to be on a different level of like, no, I can go there and improve, and then use that as a trampoline, which I don't think a lot of Rays fans it sucks to not have a guy that you really like for 5-6 seasons, but the bullpen is so volatile. I don't
Yep.
think a lot of Rays fans are sad that to see a reliever go, because they know that the Rays can just build bullpens upon bullpens year after year.
Oh, for sure. 100%. And we have more to discuss on this deal or expected deal with Phil Maton. But first, we have to tell you that the NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there is still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get 150 buckaroos in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose, the app is super easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, like live same game parlays. Find bets in the new Explore tab, and you can also make a parlay in what they have called the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays and more. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to make your first bet a layup. Again, FanDuel.com/LOCKEDON to make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, they are an official partner of the NFL. Now, with Phil Maton, it's funny that we sometimes joke or chide that, okay, you just look at a guy's savant numbers and you judge him by that. But if you look at his savant numbers, they are really impressive and really enviable when you look at the hard hit percentage and the whiff percentage and the average exit velocity and the expected batting average and the expected ERA. There's a lot of red on that marker. Not so much in the fastball velocity department, but I'll tell you what, in watching some highlights and clips of Maton, I think that he is more exciting than people give him credit for because of the nasty curveball and the nasty slider with so much break and movement that gets, quite frankly, lefties and righties swinging out of their shoes. And yes, I know we can joke about the fastball only averaging 89, 90 miles per hour, but it plays up a bit because he does have a lead extension, and for what it's worth, he can pinpoint and locate it. In fact, when he was part of an immaculate inning not too long ago with the Astros, like he was just darting fastballs up and into Nate Lowe as a lefty. So he can pitch inside with that, but I think it's the curveball and the sweeper that are going to make people that are watching the games in person or on television go, wow, that's fun to see.
Yeah, the movement on those pitches, the curveball and the slider, are very, very fun. If you can go down a rabbit hole watching clips of Phil doing that. And you mentioned the fastball. Yes, it's not going to blow you away, but maybe that's a reason why he was so successful in 2023 is the pitch mix. Because if you notice, the fastball usage dropped around 14 points, which is pretty sizable. And when you look at the secondary pitches, the slider gained 4% usage. So it's now sitting around 23, 24%. And the curveball gained 10% usage. So he's kind of, again, different stuff and different pitchers, different human beings. But it does remind me of what Jason Adam, when he was really successful in 2022. And he had a really good season in 2023 as well. Just mixing everything, just putting it in a bag and kind of just being like 33%, you don't know what's coming. I feel like Phil Maton maybe could be that guy where no matter if it's 1-2, you don't know if he's going fastball or if he's going curveball or he's going slider. Like that would be really interesting to see, because with the movement and if he's able to tunnel those pitches correctly, he could become a high leverage option for the Rays very easily.
Oh, for sure. And look, again, it's not the most sexiest addition or signing, but in comparison to what the Rays have done or have not done in terms of spending money on free agents this year, we've got to at least pump it up and boost it up a little bit and play it up. Because I think, according to reports and what I've seen, is that the Rays spent $1.1 million on free agents this offseason. So that is a small pittance compared to what other teams around the league are going out and doing, i.e.
Oh.
the Orioles signing Craig Kimbrell and trading for Corbin Burns to, just name a few there.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're like a Rays fan that is going, wait, free agent, 1.1 million, I don't remember that at all. Who could that be? It's Chris Davinsky, people.
Oh yeah, the big Davinsky deal. Let's not forget about that. That's
deal.
very important.
You know how people talk about the Louisiana purchase, 1803, Thomas Jefferson. Okay, it's very very easy to get into that conversation on the daily. People are also going to be doing the same thing with the Davinsky deal. It's the same kind of level.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, to tie that in a little bit, Maton did go to Louisiana Tech, so I like how you threw in the Louisiana Purchase reference there. And here's the other thing I think why Phil Maton has been able to stay healthy and durable over the last several seasons and throughout his career is because he is not, that overpowering with the fastball, and his delivery, at least what I saw, very easy and repeatable, which makes sense when you're not, trying to blow guys away with your arsenal and repertoire with that. So as it looks right now, and this is just according to the Rays roster on their website, they have listed on the bullpen, because the Maton deal has not been officially inked, I guess, or announced by the team. They have Pete Fairbanks, Jason Adam, Colin Poche, Sean Armstrong, Garrett Clevenger, Kevin Kelly, Chris Davinsky, and Jacob Lopez listed underneath their bullpen. And I don't know if we want to add Tyler Alexander or put him as a swingman. I mean, I guess at some point the Rays are going to have to include Phil Maton into this equation. But what kind of has me excited is the fact that, hey, there's more depth to come around and more versatility and more options to play with. Okay, if this guy, hey, maybe we can extend this guy out or use this guy in different or multiple facets. So that at least has something going for it.
Yeah, I would definitely trade that Tyler Alexander name for Jacob Lopez. I think Tyler is definitely going to get that over Jacob. And I looked at the 2023 opening day bullpen, and it had very familiar names, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Had 8 names, which, by the way, that already is the same amount that is on this bullpen before the Phil Maton signing.
Right.
So that gives way of like, there's no way they're opening with a 9-man bullpen. So one of these names is not doing not making the opening day roster, which is very difficult for me because, like, Fairbanks lock, Jason Adam lock, Sean Armstrong lock. Like, those are your best 3. Then you go lefty, Colin Poche and Tyler Alexander. Okay, they seem to be locks as well.
Yeah.
Chris Davinsky, you literally brought him from free agency, so he's a lock. And so now you're left with either Clevenger or Kelly. So if you want a lefty, you obviously go Clevenger, but he is returning from injury, so maybe he does get the boot to go to the minor leagues and get some more time there before you bring him up. You stay with Kevin Kelly, who had a good rookie season, and then you put in Phil Maton.
I think that would be the play, and I think that that's something that the Rays are taking into account, where you can't really have enough guys. If you sign some guys and you have to stock them in AAA for a little bit until they're ready, you go out and do that. I mean, just look at the difference in the bullpen and the rotation over the course of 2023. And I think that's probably why the bullpen struggled to some extent. I mean, there were headlines in June, May, July of how the Rays bullpen was historically woeful. And I think some of that had to do with the unexpected role that guys had to step into and fill because of the massive amount of starting pitching injuries that were unexpected. So maybe this is a little bit of something where, okay, we look at the rotation and we look at the guys that are supposed to fill that role, and maybe there is greater expectation on the bullpen to take over more innings because you have so many young, unproven, untested guys in that spot. So maybe that's why they're going out and, just acquiring bullpen arm after bullpen arm or bulk arm after bullpen arm or bulk arm after bulk arm to kind of fill those voided innings, if you will.
Yes, and the two names that we've talked about, very, we've talked about innings. You need innings in this pitching staff because of the inexperience and the youth and the obvious question marks around injury risks on the pitching staff, on the starting rotation. So you need innings from the bullpen, and so you have guys that are flexible, like Sean Armstrong. He can give you more than one inning at a time. Tyler Alexander, he can give you more than one inning at a time. But you look at the rest of the bullpen, and Phil Maton is not going to be that guy. He is durable, but he's durable in another way. He will give you 65, 66 innings a season. At least he has done the last 3 seasons. But when you look at his game logs, he has been a 1-inning guy. In fact, out of 68 games that he pitched in 2023, only 4 of those 68 outings, he went and pitched more than 1 inning. Right. One of those 4 was against the Rays, by the way, in July. But you got to get innings, and this is a guy that he can post almost on the daily, it seems. I'm just wondering, with the 2023 opening day bullpen and then the 2024, I don't know if I'm being too optimistic, but I feel like the 2024 bullpen as it stands right now is with Phil Maton is way better than the 2023 version.
Yeah, I'm more bullish on 2024, and maybe it's a little bit of hindsight and some of the struggles that those guys went through. And we also have to take this into account that the opening day bullpen of 2024 probably will not be the same names that you see at the end of the season or in the playoffs. Opening day relievers 2023 were Pete Fairbanks, Jason Adam, Garrett Clevenger, Jalen Beeks. What happened to him? Colin Poche, Ryan Thompson, what happened to him? Calvin Fauché, what happened to him? Kevin Kelly. And then the playoff roster, now I know they kept 11 pitchers, but there were quite a few bullpen arms. You had Sean Armstrong, Chris Davinsky, Jake Diekman, Pete Fairbanks, Andrew Kittredge, Colin Poche, and Robert Stevenson. So I like what the Rays have done and built and constructed with this bullpen, and looking forward to seeing what they can do in 2024. I think a lot of it is, of course, contingent on health. Now, you did make an interesting point a few moments ago that Maton can or could be slotted into a high leverage role. Say something. Would you pin him as the number 3 high leverage guy as of right now after Fairbanks or Jason Adam? Or does he have other guys to work through? Are you thinking of him more as 6th inning, possibly sometimes 7th inning?
I think in the beginning he would slot in as the, if we do break up the bullpen as the A bullpen and the B bullpen, he is the best option of the B bullpen right now.
Okay.
So like if somebody's down from the A and you need, hey, 7th, 8th inning, we need you, I think Phil would be that guy right now. And I think he would succeed enough that he could push into the A bullpen. But right now, I think it's Fairbanks, Adam, and Armstrong. I mean, I really like what Sean Armstrong has shown in the last 2 seasons with the Rays. Like Sean Armstrong has shown that he has found something, that he's a really good pitcher. So I think he would be above in the hierarchy level with Phil Maton. But if Phil comes out firing, like, there's no need. I mean, that's just good news, because that just means that the A bullpen has gained another member, and that's always a good thing for the bullpen. So I would slot him in as the best guy from the B squad right now.
Okay, that's fair. But it's something to look at and look forward to for sure. I want to throw out some over-unders for Phil Maton. We mentioned some of the metrics that he's put up over his career. For the Rays in 2024, over under 66 1/3 innings pitched.
Under.
How much under? Are you like a third of an inning under, 1 inning? Like somewhere between 60 to 64 is what you're looking at?
I'm looking at above 50.
Okay, above 50.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is either he's not going to be able to stay healthy for the entirety of the year, or there's so much work to go around among this group that innings are going to be taken up, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like one-sided thing is I don't think the Rays are just going to just like put so much workload on a guy just because he's on a 1-year deal.
Right.
Although it could be a multi-year deal, so we don't know this yet. So that's part of it. Like I just don't think the Rays do that. And number two, I am hoping, I'm being a little bit optimistic that, not a single guy has to pitch 66 innings. Like if everybody can just stay healthy, then you can kind of share the wealth of innings amongst the group.
Okay. Over under 3.00 ERA. And I believe that's what he had this past year with the Astros. Exactly 3.00.
I'm going to go above. Just hedging my bets here.
Okay. So you thinking, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4,
Yeah.
something in that ballpark? Okay.
I would think sub 3.5.
All right. That's fair. Now, this is something that he has not done much of or really at all in his career, which means he's, they know and he knows what role he's been put forth in, and it's not to be the ninth inning guy. He has 2 saves in his career, but we know that the Rays do things differently. They give opportunities to other guys and chances. It wasn't that long ago where 12, 13, 14 guys got a save, setting an MLB record. So over under 3.5 saves for Phil Maton in 2024 with the Rays.
I'm going to go over. Over. You're right. I mean, the Rays will literally give anybody a save. You get a save. Like they don't even care. So you're in the bullpen, you have a chance of at least one. And if we are hopeful that he's going to become a high leverage option, that at least increases it by 2. So yeah, okay, let's go over.
I like it. Hey, that's not a bad deal for if you can pencil in all that stuff for a bullpen arm, and something that we really didn't touch on much, but the guy has been around the block, pitched for good organizations. He knows what winning is like. I'm sure he's navigated ups and downs, and I think being able to impart some of that to some of these younger pitchers, not just bullpen guys, but starting pitchers as well. We'll see what happens with all that. I should note that a lot of guys got saves last year as well, but it was pretty disparate between Pete Fairbanks and Jason Adam. Fairbanks had 25, Jason Adam had 12, and then 7 guys had 1 save apiece. So we'll see if the Rays spread the wealth with that a little bit. All right. Let us know what you think of the Phil Maton signing and acquisition in the comments. I don't know how much people will be jumping for joy, but I think it's a solid addition, not a detraction by any means. And I think it's only going to help this team going forward. Will they win the division? I don't know that yet. Projections say no, but we know how much projections have been woefully inaccurate in the past. And at the end of the day, you got to play the games on the field, not on paper. So yes, let us know what you think. Anything else, Ulises, on the Phil Maton maneuver?
I just feel like, again, we don't know how much money or how many years, if it's actually going to, get done. But if it does get done, I understand it's not, the Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery. And, I understand that. But this is something really good for the Rays. You're bolstering that bullpen, especially with a guy who can get innings pitch, who is durable. You also need that in 2024. I feel like this just made the Rays a stronger, more adept group to go into the season, and it gives you trust that if 1 or 2 guys, fall to injury, that the guys that are replacing them are not, the Calvin Fauchés or Javi Guerras of the past. You're going to have a little bit more skill in the 8th, 9th, 10th guys from the Durham Shuffle for the bullpen.
Yeah, it certainly adds some credibility, that's for sure. And There are some other organizations or fans of other organizations that were a little upset that they may have struck out on Maton. I know the Yankees were maybe in play there, and the Cardinals were maybe in play there. So, look,
Yeah.
if we're talking about a 1-for-1 Kittredge versus Maton, I'd rather have Maton at this point in his career than Andrew Kittredge. So,
Yeah.
let us know what you think. Ulises, do you think this is the end of the line for free agent acquisitions for the Rays until we begin spring training?
Yeah, I really think that
Yep.
this is it. This is it. And so now you also have to clear. We were talking about the bullpen spots. You also have to clear 40-man roster spots now with
That's
this
true.
too. So maybe that's a reason why we really haven't had any finalization on this deal, because they also have to open up a spot. We know that our idea with Uwasawa is basically it's a minor league contract just because of the 40-man crunch. Um, could they do something with Phil Maton? I don't think that they would do that. I think he's going to just get the major league deal, but you have to clear that spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be active this week for the Rays, and it's going to be active for Locked On Rays, because now we have entered the part of the season where we pick it up and we stop doing 3 days a week. We will be going 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday. So, the season's picking up, and we are as well.
Yeah, and we're going to, as we maneuver into spring training and beyond, we're going to try to incorporate some fun segments that allow us to sink our teeth into a little bit and just have some fun. I mean, when you're going every day like this, we got to do that. We don't have any games to talk about yet, so we've got to figure something else there. And interesting you mentioned the possibility or the nod to the Uwasawa deal. I don't think that Phil Maton would accept that given his track record in the major leagues, but it's worth a shot. And I wonder if there would be, there's probably just that risk or contingent of, okay, I'm on a minor league deal, but what if I blow out my arm in spring training? Then you got to deal with that risk hanging over your head. So it's probably one of those cases of, no, I want the major league deal.
Who's going?
Give me that now. Yeah.
Who's going from that 40-man? It's put your thoughts below as well. Not only that you like Phil Maton or you don't like it, but if you also have time to write a longer comment, write in who do you think from that 40-man? Who do you think is going to get the boot? Because somebody has to.
Yes, that is true. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Tuesday.